Okay, to start out, we're gonna go over the pattern pieces that we need. You need 2 back gusset pieces, 2 back side pieces, 2 front gusset pieces, 2 front side pieces, and your elastic for your waist. For our first step, we're gonna take our 2 gusset pieces and we're gonna fold them in half right sides together like this. And we're gonna just clip right here. This is our crotch seam for our gusset. And we are gonna go sew here and here. Okay, so now that we have our sides sewn, I'm gonna open both of them back up and you'll see where our seam is now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place them wrong sides together. Just like this. And I'm gonna line up my sides as much as I can. And we're gonna take our front side panel pieces and we're gonna place them right sides together on this curve and this curve. I'm gonna just pin all along the curve. I usually start at the top, then the bottom, and then I find my center. And we're gonna sew right along this curve. Okay, so now that I've got this sewn, I'm gonna open it up. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this side with this panel piece, and we're gonna line it up right there. I'm gonna start pinning at the top, making sure everything lines up. Just like that, and then I'm gonna sew along this edge. Okay, so now that we got the sides sewn, we have our whole front piece done for now. We're gonna now start with our back piece. We're gonna take our 2 back gusset pieces, and we're gonna place them, wrong sides together, just like the front. Just like that, okay? And we're gonna take our side panel right here, and we're gonna line up this edge with this edge, right sides together. Starting and pinning at the top, then here at the bottom, and then finding our center. And I'm just making sure everything's lining up. And then we're gonna sew along this edge. You may have to stretch a little bit, but that's perfectly fine with knit to sew. Okay, so now that we have our side done, that first side, we're gonna open up same as we did at the front. And we're gonna take our other side panel right here and do the same thing and line these up, right sides together. You guys can start pinning wherever you want. I just always pin top, bottom, then center. It makes it easier for me to find the center and make sure that it's evenly distributed. I'm just making sure everything's lining up. Okay, and we're gonna sew along this edge. Okay, so now I got my side seam down. I'm gonna just open it up. And I'm gonna, now that we have our back panel done, I'm gonna take our front panel and line them up right sides together on the sides. And I'm gonna pin my sides together. Just like this. Top, sorry. Bottom. And really making sure that those line up. Center. I'm gonna do the same thing for this side. And I'm gonna, sorry. I just wanna make sure everything's aligned, okay? And I'm gonna sew down both of these edges. Okay, so now we got our side seams done. We're gonna clip our crotch area and sew it. So I'm still gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do my two sides. And make sure they line up. Clip. And then I'm gonna find the center and make sure that those line up. And clip, okay? And I'm gonna now sew my crotch seam. Okay, so now I got my crotch area done. We are done with this part for right now. I'm gonna take my elastic and I'm gonna fold it in half. And I'm gonna clip right here, my short side, and I'm gonna sew down that side. Okay, so now we have our elastic sewn. I'm just gonna move this down a little. I'm gonna take my boxers that I have sewn together and I'm gonna bring them right sides out, okay? Sorry. I'm gonna find the middle. I'm gonna take my middle where I sewed my elastic and I'm gonna clip it on the inside. And then I'm gonna quarter it and do the same thing with the front. Clip it with the elastic on the inside. And then with my sides. And I'm gonna sew along this edge, this raw edge right here, sewing the elastic to this. And stretch as I go with the elastic because obviously you can see there's extra room. Okay, So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this in just like this and over top. And I'm gonna pin it again quarters here. And do the same thing here. As you can see, I just fold it in, pin, and then I'm gonna do my sides and pin. Same thing here, making sure it's nice and tight. You don't want any extra fabric, so make sure it's tight, okay? Just like that, and I'm now gonna top stitch down here, where my seam is, right here. On this side, I'm gonna top stitch. You can either zigzag stitch, you can use a cover stitch. I'm gonna use a cover stitch, but I'm just gonna top stitch right along this edge of the elastic on the inside. Okay, so now we have our waistband done. As you can see, I top stitched. It's right along that edge of my elastic seam, okay? Our last step is we're gonna hem our pants. Our boxers, sorry. Bottoms. I like to turn mine right sides out, wrong side out, so that I can see how much I'm folding in. I wanna fold in about 1/2 inch, okay? And I'm just gonna clip and quarter. Same thing here, clip and quarter. Clip and quarter. And then clip on the quarter as well again, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing to this leg. I'm gonna fold it down 1/2 inch. I'm gonna clip, and then I'm gonna find the 1/2 of that. Sorry. And I'm gonna clip. I'm gonna go the quarter between the two. And I'm gonna clip it. Same thing on this side, find the quarter of the two, making sure it's still only 1/2 inch, and clip, okay? And now I'm gonna hem this, so you can zigzag stitch, top stitch like I did here. I'm gonna top stitch, obviously. And then I'll show you the final product. And there you go, now we have our finished product, the Atlas boxers.